What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of Vanquish, the newest film from director George Gallo. Now, before we begin, if you like this channel, awesome, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell at the top to find out what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome, hit that like button, as well as comment below on any video that you watch, including this one. So Vanquish is the story of a character named Victoria, who is played by Ruby Rose. She is a person that used to be a Russian drug courier, so she has a certain set of skills. She's very feared by a lot of people, but she's been hiding out. She has a daughter, and she's been living with this guy named Damien, who of course is played by Morgan Freeman, who is actually a detective or a cop who used to work on the force. He was a police chief and stuff like that. He got hurt, so now he's on disability. He's retired, and basically she wants to kind of disappear with her daughter and be on her own, and she's kind of just tired of everything. And of course, Morgan Freeman's character, who is a corrupt and very vicious individual, has basically kidnapped her daughter and forced her to go and basically pick up 5 couriers or 5 packages, I guess you could say. And in the process, we also have a bunch of corrupt cops who are trying to find a wiretap to keep themselves from getting in trouble. And it basically involves her picking up these packages, taking down a bunch of people, as well as this other story that doesn't even really have any purpose to the entire movie, to be fairly honest. And so it's basically an hour and 29 minutes of Ruby Rose picking up packages of money and stuff like that. And so when it comes to a movie like this, it doesn't have a lot of buzz for the simple fact that there's a trailer, there's not really much, marketing behind it. It's going to release like a theater a couple days before it releases digitally. But because it has George Gallo as the writer-director of the movie, I was really interested and intrigued of him doing an action movie. He's known for doing stuff like, of course, like Bad Boys, and of course, one of my favorite action comedies, The Midnight Run, with Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin. And so it's a movie that I was really intrigued by, because if he can do and write those types of movies, maybe he can do something fun in the kind of Atomic Blonde or John Wick, or of course the movie Nobody and stuff like that, and to see what he can do with it. On top of that, he's worked with Morgan Freeman before on The Comeback Trail, which I actually thought was a pretty interesting movie. And so I was pretty interested in this movie, thanks to the people at Lionsgate for allowing me to see this early. I'll say this right now, as a reviewer, it's sometimes hard to really bash a movie, and you see where I'm going to go with this, because people put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into these movies. They're very hard to make. Sometimes they are successful, like the Marvel movies. Sometimes they're not successful, like Slenderman and stuff like that. But people really try to make decent, halfway good movies, and when one is put out and it's entirely unsuccessful, you hate being a reviewer because you love the people involved. And so it's the unfortunate nature of having to be truthful and honest when it comes to a review. So with that said, like I said, you'll see where I'm going with this. This movie is one of the worst movies I've seen this year, as well as one of the worst movies I've seen this decade, in the 2020s. This movie is absolutely just mind-bogglingly bad. I don't know what happened here. I really don't. This movie, from a aesthetic of camera work, aesthetic of lighting, aesthetic of editing, basically the below the line work, as it's called, completely implodes upon itself, because it is so bad. This is college level amateurish type material that is being presented on screen with people that are very famous people like Ruby Rose and Morgan Freeman and George Gallo to an extent. I am so baffled after watching this movie on what exactly happened. But to present this schlocky crap that was presented on screen is an injustice to everyone who was involved. I hate to say it, but it's just a bad movie. It really is. It has no redeeming values. Nobody's interesting in this movie. I believe Morgan Freeman looks like he's the most bored I've ever seen him in any movie I've ever seen him in, and he's pretty bored in a lot of movies he's in recently, but he does these films because he probably likes working with the director and whatnot. But it's a movie that is just weird. It's strange. It's so one note in every performance that's shown on screen. It's, I love Ruby Rose. I think she was fantastic in Orange is the New Black. I think she was pretty good, and of course, the Batwoman series, and of course, I loved her in John Wick. She's that fun, silent antagonist who has a badass ability. But it's something happened here. Something went like terribly wrong. I don't know if George Gallo, when he was watching the edit of this film, was like, oh, I think we messed up, or he just doesn't care enough that he just released a terribly, awfully put together movie. Because the reason I say that, when it comes to like cinematography, like the camera work and the lighting, This movie looks like a college film, you know, going through film school in college. I've gone back and watched some of the films that we worked on, which had some decent, you know, people involved. And the one thing you can see is the way things are shot, the way things are put together, the way things are lit. It really feels like there's something truly off about it. You know, the photography feels really cheap, and it feels like they use like maybe like old school iPhones or something like that. And then when you get into the lighting, it's all like greens and purples. It feels like they use like overexposed gels and stuff like that on the lights. It feels like they went into like Adobe Premiere and just did some really weird stuff with a movie. When it comes to editing, it's so choppy and all over the place. Sometimes you get like slow motion, sometimes you get hyperactive motion, you know, like the really quick stuff. Sometimes you just get like these weird angled shots that are like looking up and like trying to do Michael Bay's type stuff, which I think was what George Gallo was trying to do. He was trying to do like a Michael Bay type movie, but it feels like he was one of those directors that is given his first project and he's never going to get above all the CD level material. That's how bad this movie is. It's just, it's so ugly to look at and so awful to watch that you're just completely like revolted by what you're watching. You almost want to go like throw up because it's so bad. But this is a movie that's full of have-nots. There's no haves in this movie. It's just have not. There's nothing there. This movie's blank slate. It's completely empty, and you get what you deserve. So, but yeah, it's probably the worst movie I've seen this year so far. So, but anyways, that'll do it. That'll be my take on this movie, Vanquish. Thank you so much for watching. If you decide to see this movie, let me know in the comments below what you thought. Most of you guys will probably hate it like I did. So, but if you like what you see on this video, hit that subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.